Hey, what's up guys? My name is Marc and welcome back to my new series on world building. So what we're exploring is the world of Chroma Islands, and today, well, we're going to take a look at these little ladies here. So those would be the white people, more specifically the Ivory tribe, and let's take a look. Alright, today we are going to explore the side here of the island, so the cliff area of the island. And this is going to be where the white people live. And I'm going to say the Ivory tribe. I'm going to call them by the name of their tribes instead, because the white people sounds kind of weird. This is going to be the third race that I tackle for, in the context of this project. And so if you haven't checked out the previous two races, so the green people and the red people, I highly recommend that you check those out. You can find them in the top right corner of the screen here. There's going to be a link for that. And I'll also put a bunch of links in the description below for previous videos so that you can catch up if you're new to this. Now, really quickly about kind of what I'm doing here in the background. I started with a Procreate time-lapse. This is something that I was kind of sketching on the iPad at lunch, and I thought it would be perfect for the white people. Right now what I'm doing is just basically on a different layer on top of it, kind of just polishing it some more in Photoshop, and I'll be doing the rest of the process in Photoshop. As soon as I'm done with the line art, I'm going to just add a new layer for my flats, and then I'm going to color those flats and we'll give it a little bit of shading just so it looks a little bit better, so it's not just just flat or just line art. And then I'm going to start working on the next character. So there's going to be two characters, as you've seen at the very beginning here. So this one, the first one, is a more generic character. So this is kind of just one of the many tribes people from the Ivory tribe. And the second character will be more of maybe like a higher up, or maybe like the queen, somebody that's a little bit more important. Hey, I'm back, I was hiding. So back onto the main topic for this video, which is going to be the background for the white people. Who are they and what are they all about? So, I'm thinking of having around 8, something like that, 8 to 10 races in total. So this is the third one, and I've been thinking about the different colors as well, so I'm pretty satisfied with what I have so far for the blue people, the yellow people, the black people also, and I think that's it. And then there's going to be a few more. Maybe I have some ideas for the purple people, and there might be like gold and silver as like god tier kind of people, so I'm not sure yet. So this is far in the future. We'll see what happens then. But focusing on the white people, black people, I'm trying to stay as far as possible from real life with this. Any kind of link between reality and my world, this is pure fantasy. And so what I wanted to do with white people is make them as unique as possible and as different as possible from real people, like from real white people, right? So what I chose to go with these is a female-only clan, tribe, female-only race actually, and they are, I guess the best comparison would be kind of similar to a harpy, kind of, right? So they're bad, they're evil, they can pretty much eat whatever they want. They're almost like a bird, right? So like a seagull kind of animal, kind of creature, and so they can eat pretty much anything. They can eat garbage, but they really like to eat people. They're pretty cruel too, so the way that they eat them is also messed up. And so that's kind of like the darker side of Chroma Islands, and this is what they are about. So if I start with their life cycle, or their life, basically how are they born, how did they die, and things like that. So that's kind of what I did with the previous races, and for them it's going to be a little bit more simple. They are pretty much just born out of eggs, like birds, and they don't need males. Like I said, it's a female-only tribe, it's a female-only race, and so they are kind of just self-sufficient. It's one individual that just creates clones of himself. So you have kind of like the queen that just duplicates, or that just lay eggs, and the eggs are just essentially just copies of her, with sometimes some minor mutations and things like that. So she's not the only one that can actually lay eggs, but she's the only one that's allowed to. So every female can do the same, but you know, the strongest of them all, which is going to be kind of like the queen, the one that rules the entire tribe, she won't allow any of that to happen. So she's, you know, it's going to be her genes alone that get passed on to her kids. And so she's not going to let anybody else that tries to lay eggs live. So they're going to be disposed of really quickly. And if there are any eggs left behind, they kind of get eaten. When it comes to kind of how long they live, right? So after they're born, it's going to be kind of like a human. I didn't have any like preference for them. Nothing made sense for them to live longer or shorter. Maybe they live a little bit shorter. So instead of like 80 years old for humans, maybe it's something like 50 max. Now, when it comes to their lifestyle and their like the hierarchy of their tribe and all that stuff, that covers it pretty much. There's only one thing that I didn't mention, and it's who they hunt for fun, and those are going to be the females only from the other tribes. So they want to hunt people within their own tribe, although, you know, they're pretty brutal. If there's a fight, it's always like a fight to the death. So very similar again to like medieval times, back in the days where just life wasn't that really important. That's kind of what they're all about. Except they have this weird intolerance when it comes to other females of any other race. And so the males, they pay no attention to them. It's almost like just props, just plants. They're irrelevant for them. But they have a really hard time dealing with having other females around that could potentially compete with them. I don't even know why they don't like it. I don't know yet. I'll probably figure it out eventually. But yeah, that's something that I thought was kind of interesting about them. That could be interesting about them, that they only hunt other females. And so all the other tribes are going to be really, really careful, you know, when they go out and explore. So, you know, they're basically always trying to protect their females so that they don't get snatched up by the white people, by the Ivory tribe here. And that's it. So now, when it comes to their physiology, what makes them unique? When I created them, when I was thinking about them, like brainstorming ideas for the white people, for the Ivory tribe here, I was thinking about different animals that have different abilities that I kind of liked, and so I tried to mash up different animals like that. I mentioned that at the beginning of the video, but things like monkeys, or like chimpanzees, flying squirrels, because they can glide, and the same goes for them. So they have like the little membrane around in between the arms and their torso, and yeah, so basically they can kind of just jump off a cliff and spread out and be able to kind of glide down wherever they want to go. So they can't fly, I don't think so, but yeah, just some sort of ability, so in case they fall, they don't die, right? They don't fall all the way down to the ground, so they can just glide down and they'll be fine. And then the chimpanzee part comes in their agility and how quick they are to climb things. You know, they live in trees, mostly like at the top of the trees, on top of a cliff, so in the high grounds. And the other animal, the bird, right? 3 animals is kind of what I was going for. So chimpanzee mixed with flying squirrel, mixed with some sort of a bird, like a seagull, like a lame bird, but that can eat anything. And so that's kind of what they are all about. Now, you know, you can probably see her lovely face here. They're beasts, but they also have like these weird faces where they appear to be nice. So from a distance, you know, you might look at them and be tempted to go talk to them because they look normal. But when you get closer, that's when you notice kind of like their mouth is actually huge, and inside it was just a bunch of teeth, like a shark mouth almost. So when you get up close, you realize that, oh, I probably shouldn't be this close to this thing. But from a distance, they look almost normal, almost like a pretty, like beautiful creatures. And so that's kind of how they trick others, how they prey on the different races also. And so they usually go for the younger people because they're not as strong, they're more innocent, right? They might not know that these people are dangerous, so that they might not know to stay away. And so they're pure evil, pretty much. When it comes to their color and their look rather than their abilities, which is pretty much the last thing that I wanted to talk about, kind of how they look and why. And so they are the white people, right? So they're going to be all white. And the way that I'm thinking of colors in the context of Chroma Island is pigments, right? So not light, so just like real paint. So white, they have no colors, and then they have this complex, since they don't have any color, that they always try to tint or color their hair, or whatever you want to call that, you know, like feathers, big feathers or something like that. Same with their tail. And so they are a little bit self-conscious, which is, I thought it was a cool, like an interesting touch. These crazy creatures, super evil, yet they're self-conscious about certain things. So the way that it's going to go with the colors and how, like, the kind of colors that they choose to dye themselves is the female in charge is going to be the one that chooses. So it's whatever color that she prefers is going to be what all the other ones will need to wear as well. So it's almost like a dress code, and then she'll use that to identify the different people in her tribe. And so all the ones that have a different color, that maybe, you know, in this case, you know, where you have kind of like the red one, or like the purplish pinkish hair, and the main female, which would be the one that's in charge now, the one that has the blue kind of like cyan hair, all of her clones would also have similar color, because she would make them wear the same, and she would keep the others the way they are, so that everybody knows that they're not coming from her, they're not her kids, and that everybody can kind of treat them like crap, because they're older and they are from a previous generation. Also something I haven't illustrated yet, but you know, whatever comes out of the eggs when they're born is going to be just like a kid version of them. They're not going to be cute though, so I still have to illustrate that. So I'll add that. Maybe I'll show that in the future when working on the environments for the white people. That's it. That's the only thing I forgot to mention, I think. So there we have it. That is the Ivory tribe. And as a quick reminder, I just want to say that, you know, everything that I'm doing here, all the notions, that all the colors, you know, the anatomy, the gesture, everything here, everything that I do is also something that I teach. So if you want to learn the same thing, if you want to learn to, you know, if you want to learn to do this kind of stuff, I put together a massive art program specifically for digital artists called Art School for Digital Artists, and you can find more about that in the top right corner here of the screen if you're interested. And of course, the brushes that I use to create this and pretty much all my other art can be also found on my QBrush store. Again, link up here, and also I'll put all the links that I've mentioned throughout the video in the description below. So make sure you keep an eye out for the next episode. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, you know, share it with anybody else that you think might be interested in this kind of stuff. Share with your friends, your pets, whoever, or some strangers in the subway. I'm super excited to keep working on this tribe, and so I'll see you next time. Peace out.